Hey Book Dragons, welcome back to my channel. It's time for my monthly update. Let's go! It is that time of the month again where we talk about all the wonderful things that I did in February, whether it be reading books or watching shows or movies, and we get to talk about some of my plans for March. Stay tuned for that. If you are getting value from my channel, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, join my Discord if you want to chat with me and my friends. Now that that's all said, let's get right to my monthly update, okay? February was a great month. And one disclaimer I want to make, I am filming this on my new camera, so let me know in the comments below how things look, how things sound. I'd love to get your input on that and see how this turned out. This is new for me, guys, so I figured what better way to start off the month with using my new equipment. So let's get to the monthly update. I read 9 books, guys! 9 books! That's crazy, right? Now, granted, some of those are really short books. And in fact, I had a lot of short books this month. And I think that was a good thing. That was good for me. I didn't have anything that was too super long and wore me out or anything like that because it's been super busy at work. So I'm really happy that that worked out. And let's talk about what I read. And we're going to start off, I've got my handy little list here. We're going to start off with Skin Game. This is the next book in the Dresden Files series. You know I've been reading through Dresden, just cranking it out every month, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Skin Game was another winner for me, and just had an absolute blast continuing on in my journey. I kind of feel like I'm related to Harry now. I feel like I'm part of his crew because I've just been going along with him so long, and it's been awesome. I also read N or M. This is book 3 in the Tommy and Tuppence series by Agatha Christie. And this was a really great book, guys. Partners in Crime kind of fell off a little bit for me. It was still good, but it wasn't great. And so N or M definitely redeemed the series for me, as if it needed redeeming. It's Agatha Christie, right? I can't really say anything bad about Agatha Christie necessarily. I read The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. It is a hard science fiction novel with aliens and mysterious video games and just some wild and crazy stuff. I did do a review on it, and that video is up on my channel right now. You can go back and watch that video if you'd like to. And I did a reread of Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. This is probably my third reread of it, or my third read of it, my second reread. And I did this as a buddy read with Nikki the Obsessive Bookseller. And you can check out her channel. I'll link it below. She and I are going to be doing a live stream to talk more in depth about the book at some point here in the near future. And I'm probably going to be doing a digital detox for 30 days to eliminate some of my bad digital habits. So stay tuned for more of that, but we are going to have a live stream talking about that. I read The Tombs of Atuan, or Atuan, or however it's pronounced. This is the second book in the Earthsea cycle by Ursula K. Le Guin. And just an absolutely amazing book. I think I liked Wizard of Earthsea a bit more, but The Tombs of Atuan was a really fascinating read. It's very different from Wizard of Earthsea in a lot of ways, although it does still feature Ged as a character in the book. There is a different main character. She's kind of a nun in this mystery cult that is protecting secrets and histories of the world of Earthsea, and so it's very different from Wizard of Earthsea, but it's very similar as well. it kind of rides the fence there. I thought it was really, really good. I read White Sand by Brandon Sanderson. This is his graphic novel series, and I really enjoyed it. Not quite as much as some of Brandon's other works, but I did enjoy it. And for a graphic novel, it's a really great story. And there are some things in there that are kind of akin or maybe Easter eggs or callbacks to Tress of the Emerald Sea. So it's got a similar magic system, although not quite the same. So I definitely highly recommend that you check it out. I read Zoo by A.C. Cross. This is a short novella, and it's very unique in that the zoo that people are being given a guided tour of is made up of psychological animals, psychological things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Some people more than others, some specific disorders that people deal with, and anxieties and fears and things that make us angry. Those are the things that are featured in this zoo. And it's one of the most unique stories I have ever read. And I would totally reread it. I think it is well worth your time to check it out. I may do a review on it, or I am thinking about doing another book review blast here coming up soon. If that's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below. The book review blasts are, where I just feature several different books that I maybe don't have a full review in mind for. Make sure to stay tuned for that if that's something you're interested in. I also finished Assassin's Quest, finally. This is the third and final book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb, and I finally finished it after months of working on it. And it was good. I didn't like it nearly as well as the first two books, especially Royal Assassin. That is by far my favorite book in the trilogy, but I loved the way the book ended. I loved the way it wrapped up all the loose ends that the first two books left. And I will do a Why You Should Read video on the Farseer trilogy here at some point. And then the final book I read in February was Rogue Protocol. This is book 3 in the Murderbot series. And it was a really great read. I'm continuing to enjoy the Murderbot series. It's nothing life-changing, but it's a really great series. A lot of fun, a lot of good cheeky humor. Murderbot never ceases to impress with how much fun it gives me. And they're quick reads, so it was nice to have a book at the end of the month that I could just squeeze in 150 pages or so, and it was awesome. So really glad that I got another book in that series read, and I will be slowly continuing to read that series over time. Let's talk about what I watched in the month of February, and we're going to start that off with His Dark Materials. I finally finished His Dark Materials, watched it with my daughter, and I thought it was really well done. Overall, it is a great adaptation, and I think it's about time that I go and do a reread of the books, because I have not read those in several years, and I do want to continue with the new books he's written in the series as well. So I'll do a reread at some point, but as of right now, I feel really good about how they did with the adaptation. Yeah, there were changes, but I felt like the changes made sense, and I feel like it was true to the vision of Philip Pullman, as far as I can tell anyway. The only person that can really tell us that is Philip Pullman, right? So, the next show I watched was The Last of Us. My daughter and I started watching The Last of Us on HBO. I've never played the game. I don't really intend to. But I think it's a really good show. I'm really enjoying it. Zombies are kind of hit or miss for me, but as with The Walking Dead, This show is more about the characters who survive this world more than it is the actual zombies. So I'm enjoying the show so far. So we'll see what I think. I did watch Glass Onion. We finally watched the second Knives Out movie, and it was a blast. In fact, I liked it at least as good, maybe even better than Knives Out. But it's different, so it's kind of hard to compare the two. So that's why I'm putting them on equal footing. But yeah, it's a great movie. Absolutely loved it. I also watched Quantumania. We went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in the theater opening weekend, not opening night. That would have been crazy, but we did see it opening weekend, and it was a lot of fun. Not the best of the MCU movies, but it's the first movie in the new phase, phase 5, I believe it is. So, yeah, we'll give it some time. I'm really excited with where they're going. The actor that plays Kang is just phenomenal. He's such a great actor, and there was a lot of great action and a lot of fun to be had. Some really cheesy humor that I probably could have done without, but it's okay. It's all right. We forgive those things because it's Marvel. It's our comic book heroes. I'm just so excited to even see them on the screen. You know, the things we grew up with are finally on the screen. So, and Kang the Conqueror is one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite villains, I should say. So I was excited to see him on the screen. I started watching season 2 of Carnival Row. This is one of my favorite original series on Amazon Prime. I was worried that we weren't even going to get season 2, even though they had promised it, because it took so long and it really got affected by COVID. So luckily season 2 is out now. It is the final season. But I watched an interview with some of the actors, and they talked about the fact that because they knew it was limited, they already knew they were only getting 2 seasons, they were able to organize the story in such a way that it tied up all the loose ends and made for a very fulfilling end. So I'm excited to see the ending of it eventually. I'm loving it. It's such a great show. You should check it out. And then while my son was home for the weekend, this last weekend, we watched Kaleidoscope. Or we started Kaleidoscope anyway. We're going to finish it on his spring break. This is a heist series on Netflix. Giancarlo Esposito is one of the lead actors in the show, and I'm a huge fan of his. I have been for a while. And it's a pretty unique concept because the episodes can be watched in pretty much any order. They recommend that you watch the first episode black, and I think the last episode is white. They recommend that you watch those where they're at the beginning and at the end. But then all the episodes in the middle you can watch in any order depending on how you prefer to watch your shows. We're watching the Tarantino-esque watching order, and it's kind of a cool way to do it. But if you look up online, there are tons of different watching orders that you can watch this show in. So it's kind of different, but I think it's cool, and I'm very entertained by the show so far, so we'll see how it goes. I did not have a Chaz and Friends episode in February. Sorry guys, it was a crazy month, things got busy, but I will be resuming Chaz and Friends in March, so stay tuned to hear more about that. I will be making announcements on YouTube, on my community tab, stuff like that. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. So now let's talk about what I want to read in March. And this is going to be like last month. I'm going to be doing a lot of mood reading. That's actually how I got so many books read in February, because I was able to just pick up a book if I wanted to pick up a book. So March won't be any different. There will be certain books that are standard for the month of March, though. And the first of those is going to be Side Jobs by Jim Butcher, and then I'm going to follow that by reading Briefcases, also by Jim Butcher. These are the two short story books in the Dresden Files. And so I plan to read those back to back in March. I'm also going to be reading By the Pricking of My Thumbs by Agatha Christie. This is the fourth Tommy and Tuppence novel. So I'm really excited about that. And I've been reading these books with my friend Mona Lisa from Mona Lisa Reads. We're going to be continuing on until we finish the Tommy and Tuppence series. So I'm really super excited to see where this next book goes. And then as soon as it comes out, I am going to be reading, and I'm so excited about this, I am going to be reading The Way of Edan by Dr. Philip Chase. It is the first book in his new self-published series, and if you've watched Philip Chase's videos, you know we've been hearing about this series for a while, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to see what he does with it, because Philip is just brilliant, and I have no doubt that his books are going to be just as brilliant. So can't wait for that. Very excited. And then I'm also going to be reading, in fact, I already started it by the time this video is filmed. I started reading A Touch of Fate by Lygia DeWitt, and I may be mispronouncing her first name, and I'm so sorry if I do, but she sent me this book in exchange for an honest review, and so I am checking out her book. I've already started it, and I'm liking what I'm reading so far, so we'll see how that goes. That's going to continue into March. And then, if I finish all of that, I'm going to just pick up whatever. I'm going to find some more books to read and see how many books I can get read in March. Maybe I'll get even more read in March than I did in February, but that's going to be cutting it close because 9 books is already a lot, so we shall see. And then let's talk about what I want to watch in March. And that's pretty easy because it's all continuations. I'm going to be continuing Carnival Row, hopefully finishing that in the month of March. I think it's going to be finished by the end of March. I'm also going to finish watching The Last of Us. And when my son is home on spring break, we're going to finish Kaleidoscope. And that's really all I've got planned. There may be other things that I watch in March as well. If so, I will let you know about those in my next monthly update. So that's all I've got for you guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure you are reading more books. I'll talk with you soon.